What is going on, you guys? How are you all doing today? Hope you guys are doing fantastic as always. Today I have a special guest on the channel. This is my buddy Tyler right here. As you guys can see, he has a beautiful BMW 435i Coupe F32. Today we are going to be doing a full review on the car, driving impressions. Tyler is going to be sitting passenger. I'm going to be getting behind the wheel of this thing, and I'm going to be telling you guys exactly why I think this car is a great daily driver and critiques as well as pros with this car. Let's get right into it. Properly quick. Tyler's car is pretty much stock aside from the exhaust and the intake, but it's on the factory ECU map, stock charge pipe and everything. And man, from a dig, this car pulls pretty hard. We're currently in San Diego, California, tearing up some back roads, and man, this motor is just incredibly smooth. The way that the N55, and I've said this over and over in my reviews before, the N55 is a very linear feeling motor. Has such a smooth power band, and it feels really solid throughout the entire rev range until you get to the very top end. It starts to lose a little bit of its punch. But the other thing that I have to mention, now this is the first F-Series review that I've done on this channel. I featured my friend Gabe's F80 M3, but I haven't really driven that car properly yet. Now this car, driving it, really getting a feel for how it works and how it just feels overall in terms of driving characteristics. Man, it's just solid. The power band is there. The transmission is incredible. This 8-speed automatic that is built by ZF is really, really fast. It feels on par with like a DCT, unless if you've consistently driven a dual clutch vehicle, you're really not going to be able to tell much of the differences between a DCT and this 8-speed. I'm telling you guys, it's that good. Tyler actually has an exhaust on this car, and inside the cabin, it's relatively quiet actually. It really kind of retains that OEM feel. I believe we have the valve opened all the way as well. It sounds really, really nice. It sounds refined, it sounds sporty, it sounds like an inline six should, and I'm not gonna lie, it sounds way better than the current M cars. Just gonna drop it down to third here, give it a little bit of gas on this straightaway. Wow. And the brakes, they feel wonderful. This car actually has, I believe, the 4-piston calipers up front, and I think 2-piston rears. And there's so much turbo noise. I'm not sure how much of it is being picked up on camera, but there's so much turbo noise that's coming through the intake, and a little bit of blow-off sound as well every time that you kind of let off the throttle. It's really, really intoxicating, and it just adds to the overall experience of the car. Transmission makes these really nice little like burbles every time on the upshift, and I think that's due to the electronic wastegate. And that brings me to another point actually. Now with previous earlier N55 models, they actually use the pneumatic wastegate, and I think starting in 2013 or 2014, BMW switched over to the electronic wastegates, which aid in reliability of the turbo quite a bit from what I've read and what I've heard from other enthusiasts. I'm not really sure as far as the other differences go. I know that that's part of the reason why it makes that blurp sound on the upshifts. It's really, really cool, and it definitely, like I said, adds to the entire experience. Going back onto the straight road, gonna give it some gas. Wow. We currently have it in Sport Plus mode. As you can see as well on the iDrive screen, we have the gauges, which is a pretty cool F-Series feature. It does display your horsepower and torque figures. Not sure how accurate it is, but I assume it's got to be decently accurate, which is really cool. The heads-up display, you guys can't see that, but that's also active. It's showing my speed and whatnot. So very driver-focused car, very driver-oriented interior. This steering wheel is so nice. Probably one of my favorite things in the entire interior. It's just super beefy. It feels great. It doesn't take up a lot of room from the gauges. Now, if I would have to criticize this car for any flaws, I would say that the steering is a little bit on the numb side. This is an electronic power steering rack, whereas a lot of the cars from the E90 generation that I'm very familiar with, and I'm sure many of my viewers are a hydraulic steering rack. Now, bringing it onto some curvy roads, we have it in Sport Plus, so it's got some weight to it, but it's still not quite as heavy as I would like it to be, and there really isn't as much feedback as you would get from something like that of a hydraulic power steering rack. You don't feel as much of the road imperfections, you don't feel as much coming through the wheels in particular. However, I wouldn't say that it completely takes away from the driving experience. This car still handles incredibly well. It's incredibly balanced. I know certain F-Series models, especially with the M Sport ones, you could actually option out a factory limited slip differential, which is a huge plus in terms of how these cars, you know, put down the power and the way that they handle overall. My car, for example, the E92 335i, has an open diff. Oh my god. Yeah, that's insane. I kind of lit up the rear tires.
Oh yeah, no, it'll fully let you do a burnout in Sport Plus.
Really cool how it does that.
You don't have to be traction control off or anything.
Yeah, based off of how controlled that felt, this is for sure a limited slip differential.
Yeah.
There's no way it wasn't. But Tyler, now that you've owned this car for a good amount of time, this is your daily driver, you know, like, what do you think about this car overall? And like, what are your plans for it, you know, as far as like the build goes?
Absolutely love this car. I came from driving a Scion FRS before, so 150 foot-pounds of torque, only at, what, 6,000 RPM?
Yeah, basically.
I couldn't go up hills, basically. And so plans, within the next year, I'll definitely be going full bolt-on. Wheels, tires, suspension, all that. I don't know how to explain, but for being like a fairly nice sports car, I guess you could consider it, it's totally comfortable. It's super comfortable inside. Visibility is insane in my opinion, way better than the FRS.
Definitely.
Same thing with trunk space, way better than the FRS.
Definitely. I mean, it is a much bigger and wider car,
yeah.
You know. These newer N55 models are much more reliable as well than the N54 cars and even early N55 models. You know, in terms of what I've read and what I've heard from other enthusiasts, they don't experience a lot of issues that commonly plague much of the older model BMWs that had turbochargers on them. So Tyler is now behind the wheel of the car. I'm sitting passenger. He's really gonna drive this thing. I'm gonna give you guys my impressions sitting passenger now. These F-Series cars handle ridiculously well. It's really, really shocking, actually. Oh my god.
There goes your camera bag.
I know, there goes my camera bag flying around in the back seat. Yeah, Tyler's really gassing this thing, and man, yeah, if you really give it full power through the turns, it handles, it'll accept it with ease. If at any point throughout the video you did enjoy it, please be sure to give me a thumbs up as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel, Simply Car Things. Thank you so much, Tyler, for letting me review your BMW 435i Coupe. For those of you watching, if you would like to see more of his car on the channel, please let me know in the comment section down below, as well as feel free to ask any questions regarding the car or anything about the channel specifically. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and with all that being said, I'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy.
Driving solo, I'm just swerving through my ends. When I'm sober, I just don't like who I am. Pull me up before and I feel like myself again. Roll me up some dope and I feel like myself again.